Show you how to draw a Groot, a little baby Groot. Now, I start all my drawings with a circle like this, and then I cross it in the middle. That's to get my center point. And in this particular drawing, I'm going to change it slightly. I am referencing a little bit. I'm going to give him a smile here. I'm going to go like this. I'll put some lines on the end here. So you can see it. All the smiles are all the tongues are kind of the same like that. And then I fill all this in. Now with this guy, he's got these big eyes, so use this as a reference here to bring him over here. And there's a little circle in there. Fill all this in. That's gonna be dark. And then there's like a little line under. You don't have to, this kind of makes him look tired, but there's a little like under there. And then I'll go over on this side and do the same thing. It's kind of diagonal, so that's kind of why I drew that line like that. See how I'm just like making little lines to make that circle? It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And then I go over here and make sure it's it feels very similar in size. That's what I'm doing there. And I just do this, fill all this in. Again, you can take your blender. I think I have one. I have to set up my station a little bit better over here. I always start with the features first because then you can wrap the face around. Grab yourself some of these blenders on Amazon for real cheap. Go like that, and then I put a little bit of shading in there. You see the difference of what blending makes. I blend all this in. And you can go over this and darken this later if you want after you blend it. There's the start of our Groot. You start putting these little lines. This is going to be the wood texture. So you can, it's not going to be just like the one that I'm referencing from. You can just make different lines wherever you want. And this is going to lead up to the top of Groot's head here. Now, this line over here is very close to the eye. And you're going to start curving this as you come down. So the mouth is a little bit higher because you gotta have this spot down here. Now you're going to come over on this other side and start curving this. This side is going to be more. See how I left a little bit space over there. Now you're going to go up, and his head is going to be kind of diagonal. So you can make a line. That's kind of where your diagonal is going to be. And then you start making his little top here. This is the wood feature. Again, leaving, fair enough space. I probably went up a little too high, but that's no big deal. And then just different cuts coming up and down basically is how this is structured. Like, think of like little buildings, This comes kind of like a little space there and then like that. And just connect it. There's your Groot. And you can add more lines in here if you want. Boop, boop, boop. Just little cuts. This is a super easy tutorial anybody can follow along with. And you can slow it down and go at your own pace, There's like a line coming up over here. That kind of gives that wood structure. Now that you have that face in there, you can take your blender and just kind of do the sides. I don't really do too much in the actual face because you don't need to. You can do like stuff like that. Just blend it up. This is just, I always start with the face with pretty much every character, and then I start building the body based off of that. Now Groot just has a little, I always look at shape, so his body just kind of comes down like this. That's his little, and then maybe it cuts in a little bit. And he's got this little circle back here, and then he's got his arms out because he's like dancing. He's doing his little Groot dance. I am Groot. We can do that. And then he's got his hands out. So these are just hands or lines that, you know, do the same thing. And then we'll do a little thumb. This will come down like a line like that, and then draw or these little kind of like, think of them as mountains. And there's his, I guess he's got 4, I think he has like 4 fingers. And then his structure is kind of like this. These are like his vines, or not vines, but the base of his, this is kind of curved like this. And then when you come down here, you're going to have like lines that come up like that, so it looks like this is wrapping around his body. And then come over here and do his arms. I think there's like these little lines like that. And then he's got his hands over here. I guess they're only going with 4. This is kind of blurry on this side, so I'm just making this up as I go. And that's it. And then these lines go the other way. See how we went with that? And now we'll go this way with this. Just like that. Now you just have to do his flower pot that he's in, or I guess that's what he's in, right? And then we'll do our blending last, and then we'll be good. Boop, 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 boop. This just curves around. Think of this like an oval, but don't do the line. You can do the line if you have to back there, and then just erase it. And then that's it. Boom. Bring this down kind of at an angle, and then curve this when you come down here, and then bring this line up, and then that's it. There's your Groot, done in less than 10 minutes. You can pause it, go back. I do like a little this, you know, this gives the idea that he's coming out of this, he's growing, he's gonna be as tall Groot. And then I just blend all this up. I actually want to order some more. I have like so many blenders though. And you can put some action lines around him, like he's dancing, you know, like you could put music, you could draw a music note if you want, or a few, whatever you want for your group. It doesn't have to be like mine. I don't know if that goes out. I think it goes like that. And then what I do to make it look like he's sitting here is I'll do another little line under here, so it makes it look like Groot is actually, I am Groot. He says that a lot. And then you can put, if you were doing this for someone, you could put their name here. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll digitize it. This is our, again, you can do lines around him as well if you want, to just give the idea that he's dancing. He's dancing. He's doing a little Groot dance, you know. That's just how I improvise with art. I take a different piece of art and I make it my own, because I added the mouth, and then my hands are different than what I'm referencing from. You could put headphones on them if you wanted to as well. There's a quick 10-minute Groot sketch And then sign it. I always do a JL and the year so people know. 26. So sign it the way you want to sign it. Let me know how you did in the comments, or we can exchange emails or whatever at some point, and you can start making a wall of all the different tutorials you've done. Usually a wood structures like this, you could put different little lines in there as well that you could go over them, is what I'm saying. And then you would go if I was going to go further than this, I'd put like a sun behind them or something. Just have fun with it, just have fun with your Groot. And again, it doesn't have to, don't copy mine, just make it your own. You can have like different, like, see how I like made it like brighter there so it looks more realistic. The way light hits different, it just hits differently. It shines differently throughout. I'll post this up and I'll tell people to post under this. I'll make this its own video, but I'll put part of it in our other video. Oh, I didn't do a line under this. This hopefully wakes your brain up in the morning or whenever you're doing this. And again, I'll just darken the eyes in if I want to. You could make his eyes different if you were going to digitize him, There you go.